Hello everyone. Here is the second part of the chapter, The Village of Palampur, for class ninth, Economics. As we've already studied in the previous video, what is economics and what is an economy? Since this is a new subject for you, it is very important to understand the basic concepts that we are going to study in this particular subject. As you already know, that we are studying about a hypothetical village called Palampur. Now, with respect to the same story, here is the video which is going to explain you about the various economic activities with respect to the activities that are going on in the village of Palampur. So this video is related to the economic activities of Palampur and the factors involved. Now, the three major economic activities in any economy are production, distribution, and consumption. First of all, there is a requirement of understanding the meaning of these three economic activities with respect to the village of Palampur. The first one is production. It means producing the goods and services that are required in the economy. Students, it is a very simple thing that whatever the producer is going to produce or whatever the particular manufacturer is going to manufacture so as to sell it out in the market has to be that particular commodity which is in demand, which is required by the buyers or the users. So until and unless any commodity will not have its demand, it will not be produced by the producer, because the producer does not get any benefit in producing something which is not required. Hence, production is the foremost activity which deals with producing what is required in the economy. And if we talk about Palampur, the major production activity in Palampur is farming. Next activity is distribution. It refers to the ways and means of distributing the goods and services produced so that it can be accessible for the buyers. For example, the cultivated products from Palampur were delivered to the nearby towns via roadways. Once the production activity is done and the goods and services are ready to be sold out in the market, buyers will not go to the particular manufacturing site to purchase them. There has to be a systematic channel of distribution of those goods and services in the various areas where they can be easily accessible to the various buyers, to the various groups. Similarly, as we know by the previous video, that in Palampur, the cultivated products were sent to the nearby towns like Raiganj through roadways via bullock carts, tongas, tractors, etc. The third activity is consumption. It refers to purchase of the available goods and services from the market by the buyers. Now here, buyers can be two kind of people. One can be that category which is purchasing the particular commodity for self-consumption, which are known as consumers. But if the intention of purchasing any commodity is resale, then that particular category is known as customer. So the buyer may purchase it with the intention of resale, that means the buyer may be a customer, or with the intention of self-consumption, which means the buyer can also be a consumer. Now here is a circular flow, not a circular flow basically, it's a it shows an interrelation in between these three activities, that is production, distribution and consumption. Once the activity of production will take place, the goods and services produced will be distributed. After distribution, the goods and services are ready for consumption. And as and when the commodities will be purchased by the buyers for the purpose of their particular consumption, whether resale or whether self-consumption, in return, whatever the money is going to flow from the pocket of buyers will reach to the producers, and again the activity of production will take place. So this is a flow in which all the economy operates. None of the economic activity is independent of this particular system. It has, these three activities have to work all together, so for the better and smooth functioning of the economy. Now let us understand what are the various factors of production. Now factors of production basically mean what are the various inputs or the various requirements for the process of production to take place. What are the four major important inputs that we are going to study in this particular topic, that is factors of production. First one is land, labor, physical capital and human capital. Let us understand the meaning of each one of these. Land. It is a natural factor of production, or I would say amongst the four factors of production, land is one of which the availability is maximum. Out of the four, land has maximum availability. It is also known as the abundant factor of production. For example, land is required for farming in Palampur. So until and unless there won't be land, how can a person even think of starting any particular process of production? So that is the first requirement. Next one is labor. Labor means people who will do the work. Definitely there is a requirement of a team of people, a group of people who are going to do the execution of the one who has conceived the idea of starting any particular production activity. It is not practically feasible for the person to undertake all the various activities related to the production on his own, on his or her own. So definitely there is a requirement of a staff or a team of people who are going to do the work of, who are going to basically implement this particular work. For example, the farmers who are involved in the production. Then the next one is physical capital. Physical capital is also referred to as capital. It refers to the combination of various kind of inputs required for the manufacturing process. Now what are now this particular definition has two important parts in it which are very much important for the purpose of understanding. Let me tell you students, this particular topic, that is factors of production, is one of the most important topic which you are going to carry even forward if you take up economics as your subject in the further classes, because this is the very much initial concept with which each and every concept is going to begin. So in order to understand the third important factor of production, that is physical capital, we should understand that capital are of two types. One is fixed capital and the other is working capital. Fixed capital means those means of production that can be used for number of years, which means that by these particular inputs are not consumed within one particular cycle of production. They are into use for number of years, and those number of years can be more than 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years. It depends from particular tool to tool, machine to machine. It depends. But if any particular input is utilized for more than one production cycle, it will be termed as fixed capital. The other one is working capital. Working capital, basically the raw material or the money which is required during the process of production. For example, whatever money or whatever is the input which is absorbed during that particular production cycle is equally important. For example, a machine which is utilized for manufacturing cloth into ready-made garment. Now that particular cloth is absorbed during the process of production while making a ready-made garment. So that particular cloth serves as a raw material. And whatever money is spent in order to undertake that production activity in a smooth manner is what is known as working capital. Next factor of production is human capital, which means knowledge required to put together all the other factors of production. Now, I would like to tell you one thing, that amongst the four major factors of production, human capital serves as the most important one. The reason being, land, labor and physical capital cannot work on their own. But human capital basically talks about the knowledge which is required to put up all these three factors of production together, which means an entrepreneur or the one who has initiated the idea of production is basically what we term as human capital, because a person who has taken all the initiatives, who has worked out a plan which is to be implemented, is what makes all the things put together and work in a systematic order so that production and then distribution and then consumption can take place in a very systematic manner. With this, I would like to end this video. Thank you.